he's haunting any rooms. He's watching me bang.
It's fine.
Okay. Welcome back to the How Come podcast, where I, Remy Casimir, your favorite stand-up comedian who hasn't had an orgasm. Just kidding, I have.
She had
I did it! Oh my God! And then this week you're gonna figure out why and how on How Come.
How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
Yeah, so I did it, and obviously I brought Charlotte back to talk about it with, because she's my favorite person. Charlotte, she produces the show. She's my sister. She works at Last Week Tonight in research, and she does all the research for the show, and she's here.
I'm here, but like, you came.
I know.
What happened? How?
I told you guys that I kind of cheated. I went with another assignment from off the podcast because my friend Will Winner told me to use this magical device called the Womanizer, and it is a clit suction device, and it's like a sex toy, obviously.
They're like new. You can see them in a like Museum of Sex and Babeland and stuff. It's like they're new sex toys though. They haven't been around for that long.
Yeah, they're like the revolutionary
Yeah.
one because they're using suction instead of just vibration.
Right.
And I'm not a vibration kid, never have been, even though I've tried many a time. And yeah, this shit was bomb.
But like, how long? Like how
So,
did
okay.
it take a while? Like,
So I set it up because I before last episode, I like sampled it for like 2 seconds because I was just like, I have to see what it feels like. Like, I'm really pumped. And I did it, and I was like, I know that I leave this on for more than a minute, like it's gonna happen. Like it's just insane. Like my face was contorting. It was insane. So I like knew it was gonna happen, and I like I made it like a little date, and I put down my towel in my bed just to see, you know, like if I was gonna squirt, if anything was gonna happen. Like I didn't want to like destroy my sheath. Nanny was out of the house. I live at my grandmother's house.
Great.
She was out with her helper. They were like walking around. I was like, this will be perfect. I have an hour alone, and got my device, turned music on so fucking loud just in case I am a screamer, and then like was getting all ready, and then I heard Nanny and Floor come back in, and I was like, shit. And I was like, hey, could you guys just like go in your room for 30 minutes? Because I was like, I could easily be like, okay, no, I'm not going to do it. Like, and like give
tomorrow.
myself like another out, like tomorrow. And like, I was like, no, I made the decision, like it's happening. Get in your room. So I made sure she was in her room, went into mine, turned music up really loud, got into bed, put on the Womanizer. Within like 30 seconds, like I thought I had to pee. And then I was just like, go with it, Remy. So then
because usually you stop. Then.
Usually I stop then because I'm like, and then, but everyone's been like, just piss. And I'm like, okay, I have this towel here. Like I'm going to do it. And so then like I did, and I was like, that is too much liquid. So then I ran into the bathroom and I was like, you can't quit. And I'm like looking at myself in the mirror, and I like turned it on like a higher setting. And I was like looking at myself in the eyes, and like, it was so like, I was like watching like my face change and my body change, like my legs started shaking, and I started like screaming. Like I am very loud. I always kind of suspected this because I'm a very loud person, and like people have always been like, shh. Like, you know, like
quiet.
even in
Like
tennis,
Mom
people have
is
been
like,
like,
stop yelling,
stop
Remy.
grunting. Yeah. So I knew that was going to happen. What?
In tennis.
Oh, during tennis? Yeah. I would always like have a grunt when I would be hitting, and I'd be like, and my mom would be like, is that real?
Yeah. Stop.
And I'd be like, yeah, it's real. I'm very athletic.
Very athletic, Mom.
Very athletic. Yeah, so then I was like looking in the mirror, then my legs started shaking, and I was like, holy shit, no. And then I went on the floor because I couldn't support myself, and then my legs are shaking on the floor. I'm like screaming while the music's like blaring. Nanny's in the next room. It was insane. And then like I just saw like all this like fluid on my hands that if Wendy Starling had not come on episode 1 and told me how much she gushes, I would have thought I was like giving birth. Like, yeah. And then I
cried. Like I fully went out and cried, and I smoked a joint, and then I went to sleep for 6 hours.
It's so crazy. I feel like everyone needs to get one of those.
Yeah. And then I started telling like some of my best friends about it, and they were like, oh, cool, how did it happen? And I was like, the womanizer. They're like, oh, cool, I have one of those. Like, I love it. And I was
Nobody
like, why didn't you
talks
tell
about
me that?
Why don't they tell
you
us?
asshole.
Well, that's why this exists.
Yeah. No, this is nice. Now we're all talking about it and stuff. But like my best friends,
crazy.
You bitch, you know who you are. Anyway, so that happened, and that's not even the crazy. I mean, that was really crazy.
But your assignment too was pretty nuts, because
this week were also insane.
So your assignment was to get a tantric massage.
I had 2 assignments because last week I had Lola Jean and Dominus Eros on, and they both work at 3F Studios, and they do like sexual healing and stuff, and they both do different classes. So he had me do a tantric massage with him, which, you know,
that's a lot.
It's a lot. And like at the beginning of the podcast, I'd kind of said that I wasn't going to do any assignments that involved the person being like, do it with me.
Yeah.
But I felt like he was really professional, and like we had talked for like that 3 hours of the podcast, and like I was like, all right, cool. Like you care about like humans, not just like
his
I'm
job.
gonna see
It's
another
not
pussy.
like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this happen for you.
Yeah. No, and it was like it was a nice experience. I learned a lot. A lot of tantric massage is like breathing exercises, and like you kind of really feel that like your body is like one entity. So like if they do touch you in a certain place, like it's not like, oh my God, that's so like crazy. It's like, oh, it's just me. Like, which was a weird feeling that I'd never felt before. And like
in a weird way, it's like desexualizing
it and just like feeling good. And like he had said on the episode, like you can have like a skin orgasm. So like your skin was like, my skin was tingling the whole time. And like,
did you come during the tantric massage?
No, I didn't. And so that happened after I came with the womanizer. So I was like, okay, this means like I just need a certain amount of like, I don't know, machinery.
Something. Yeah. Like no man can do this.
Not no man, but to this point, like everyone who's done anything, like I can't insult any exes really, because like people are doing the right shit. But yeah, it was a cool.
It's not like your boyfriend like doesn't know what he's doing. It's like this is a professional, literally. It's not the point.
Yeah. Well, that was a weird part of it too, was that like my boyfriend's very understanding about this podcast. He's like down for the journey. But one thing I will say was tantric massages is really great. I wouldn't do it again in a relationship. Just because even though things were totally professional, like even though he knew I was doing it, I knew he knew, like there was no lying. It felt like cheating.
You felt bad about it.
I felt bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So great learning experience. I would love to go back and like take a tantric class with him. Because I do think like the practice is really cool, and
it's all just like getting comfortable
doing
with your
Kegels.
Body, though,
yeah.
Yeah, butt Kegels.
Oh, vag Kegels.
Both. I heard both.
I didn't do any butt Kegels in tantric. I don't know. Maybe that's level 2.
Maybe.
Yeah. And then so tantric was really cool. And then Lola also gave me an assignment, and hers was really fun and really crazy too, which was a masturbation class that she leads.
Is it naked?
It's like, so she starts it, like she shows you this little vulva puppet and like all the parts on it or whatever, because it's difficult to figure out what vaginas look like. And then in order for like us to feel comfortable, she demonstrates on herself first, so that like it's like she's creating this space where like she's very vulnerable. So like, why don't you do the same thing? So she shows her parts and like some different motions to do, and we're all sitting there like, very interesting, very cool.
Like, learning, yes.
And there was like women playing like these instruments that was like very like Om and like
kind of like
Zen,
yogi,
very yogi. It looked like it was a yoga studio essentially. And so she showed us her parts, and we were like, cool. And then she was like, all right, let's take a break. Everyone get some water. And then like you could put on a skirt or take a towel or whatever. And then the lights went down, and we all had like towels over our waists. And like, she just, like a yoga class, led us through a masturbation, which was really cool because like, especially for me, like there's only so many tricks I know and so many things that I can do without being like, fuck this, it's not working. I
like
hate
frustrating.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was just like, all right, now like do this. And a lot of it was like flirt with yourself, like grab your own leg, like touch your butt. And I was like, and she's like, it's okay to make love to yourself. And I was like, oh my God, like you really are like kind of making love to yourself. And what was cool is like every type of girl was demonstrated there too. Black girl, Asian girl, white girl, fat girl, skinny girl, like all the girls.
Yeah.
Shy girl, like insane girl. And then at the end, we all just like talked about like how the experience. They walk around with coconut oil, so that you can
For like
use
lube.
it. Yeah, lube.
That's good.
And that was good.
Pro lube.
Yeah, and then afterwards, like they turn the lights on. You all put your pants on and like talk
people
about
coming in
how the. I don't think there was one girl who was like, usually I'm super loud, and this was an interesting experience. And I was like, what does that mean? Did you finish? Or
Yeah,
like,
right. I feel like that's more of a practice session for them, like learning things to take back home with you.
That's what it is. It wasn't. That's what she said. It wasn't
everyone
like to come together. No, it was like, yeah. Here's some tools that you can use later.
Yeah,
They were cool
that
tools.
makes sense. Nice
Yeah.
to have some tools.
Yeah. So that was this week for me. It was a big week.
That was big assignments for
Yeah.
sure. It was a big week for me too.
Was it?
I sexted for the first time.
Stop.
Yeah.
What do you mean for the first time?
Like, I don't know. I always have been very like in tune with sex and pro sex. Clearly talk about
Yeah.
it, but like, I don't know. I don't take myself seriously in a sexual way. I guess like
Me neither.
like once someone was like, "What are you wearing?" and I was like, "A 3-piece suit with a
Yeah.
monocle." Like,
Pocket watch.
because I just like I couldn't.
Yeah.
But I did it for the first time, and it was like super exciting because I like hearing it, and so I was like, I need to reciprocate,
Demonstrate, yeah.
and I don't know, I'm just getting a lot more comfortable
Yeah.
with all of this myself.
I'm not a
too.
sexter. I one time sexted something real dirty because I saw
What's
it
the
on
dirtiest
TV.
thing you sexted?
I said, I want to suck the skin off your dick.
Did he like that?
I don't think so.
All
I
right.
saw it on a show, and I was like, that sounds like a good idea.
This sounds like something someone would
I
like.
think he was frightened. Okay, I think it's
I
time.
think we're good. It's time for our guests.
It's time for the guests. Our guests this week are very exciting, very wonderful, very famous people.
They're so cool.
They're so cool,
Way
much
cooler
cooler
than we'll
than
ever
us.
be.
They started the Guys We Fucked podcast in 2013, and since then they have come out with a book called Fucked, and they have done a TED Talk, and they have articles in every woman's magazine that has ever existed, and they just have amazing insight into sex and sexuality, and they are the anti-slut shaming podcast. So please put your hands and your butts and all that stuff together for Corinne Fisher and Krystyna Hutchinson. Yay!
I was like, where do you want us to sit? Okay. Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That's a big week. How old are you?
I'm 28.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know if you
Is
were.
that normal?
No, I mean that's
What if she was like, I'm
that's
19?
Terrible. No, I knew. I didn't. I was
I'd be like, fuck you, Remy.
I was like, comedians.
Also,
I
you
don't know
look
if they're like.
great.
You could be anywhere from 25 to 35. I just had no fucking clue.
I know.
So I was just hoping you weren't in your 30s, but you're fine.
Thank you.
I mean, it's way too long. I came when I was, I guess, right when I turned 18, but I hadn't tried to come before that.
Okay.
Didn't even cross. I just was having sex with my boyfriend, and he told.
Oh my God!
lucky
What
I
a
just
unicorn!
didn't. I just never even thought of
Yeah.
Like I knew masturbating was a thing, but it just never,
busy doing other stuff.
just never interested me. Or
Your Spice Girl newsletter.
yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't like for me. Like masturbating in my parents' house had zero interest, even
Yeah,
as an adult.
sure.
It just
Yeah.
disgusts me. So
Oh, I love it.
no
See,
thanks.
that's
All day,
where
every day.
we differ. I'm just getting off in my grandma's house for the first
You really
time.
are.
Yeah.
Did you
yeah.
tell her what you were doing? Like when you sent her
She-
to your room?
Yeah, when you
No.
were screaming,
No. Well, because so the music
She
was
didn't
on
hear
really
it?
loud, and she literally can't. No.
she can't hear.
No.
At all.
I smoke in my
She
room.
can't hear
I
that?
scream in my room. I do.
Can she
Whoa.
not smell?
She can. I
Man, you
taped up
got-
the door. I taped up the door frame so the smell.
You got a
doesn't
good
escape.
system going on.
Yeah, I really do.
And she obviously doesn't
Painter's
listen to
tape.
this podcast.
She knows it exists. She actually congratulated me
Oh, that's very
On
nice.
having an orgasm
Yeah.
or having a podcast?
on having an orgasm.
That's
Does she have
nice.
Facebook?
She no, but I was
That's
on the
good.
phone with my mom, and I was like, yeah, thanks, and she goes, when are you thanking her for? And I was like, well, you know that podcast that I've been doing? And she's like, yeah, the dirty one. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, the thing I couldn't do, like, I did it. And she's like, oh, congratulations.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah, it was really sweet. I was like, I didn't think ever in my life that this would be a thing.
A conversation you have with your grandma.
Like, oh, congratulations.
Older women will surprise you at a certain. I feel like past 70, they're just
Yeah.
like a thumbs up all.
Whenever
across the board.
older women are in our audience, I always feel like, oh, I should lighten back, and they're
No.
always like, kid, I've lived twice your age.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
They're
and
like
continue.
Freaky Friday.
Yeah, it's cool.
They're like, what's her face on the outside and Lindsay Lohan on the inside.
Jamie Curtis.
Jamie Lee
Jamie
Curtis on the outside, Lindsay Lohan on the inside.
All right. Well, also, like, usually we go through people's first time stories.
Yes.
Yours with boyfriend.
That is
18.
rare.
I
as
don't even
fuck.
like. It was just not. It was never a thing, so I don't even remember like the exact thing. But it was. Yeah, it was definitely my first boyfriend, and like then he taught me how to masturbate because I was just like, oh yeah, that's a thing I should do. He was like almost 10 years older than me, so I just was very spoiled and like someone who made you feel
that
very
seems
comfortable.
very experienced
Yeah,
for
he's
like
yeah.
a
very
first time.
zen,
Yeah.
experienced, comfortable with himself, and and it's so hard to find a partner who's comfortable with themselves. Like I find one like every decade. It's on.
It's
really
everything though about sex is like just being
It's
comfortable
everything
with
about
yourself.
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Existing
It's
and being good at
Yeah.
it.
having
Yeah.
a partner.
You can't be
who,
a good boyfriend or a girlfriend in general if you're like insecure as shit. Because
Oh,
then
yeah, 'cause you're
everything
gonna project it
that
somewhere,
exactly
somewhere
comes
along the line.
It's
takes
has
it out
to
on
be
the other
possible
person.
because most people are not 100% comfortable with themselves. I've literally I know
Totally.
maybe like 3 people who are.
Yeah.
It's it's
Yeah,
not
the burger
good.
thing.
It's not good.
Oh yes, no. We were talking about because obviously Charlotte and I were doing our research, and I listened to the last episode.
Oh, the Sex
and
and the City.
the Sex and the City one, and because I was like, Charlotte, obviously Jack Berger, terrible man, never date a guy like that who's insecure and like will bring down your fire. But we were like, who's your favorite Sex and the City dude? Because like you posed the question. And Charlotte said something really interesting. She said John Slattery's character, the politician who wants to pee on Carrie.
Wow.
Like
I was like, just don't say the Russian.
No.
no, he's the worst. Ew, no.
I think Burger's worse than the Russian,
don't.
actually, but
Burger is so insecure and just mean. Like he's got a lot of shit to deal
I've
with
dated a Burger
before
before.
he dates someone else. I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah.
Don't hate me.
and also like
No,
what
I
a
do.
what a dramatic bitch statement too.
Fucking loser. He sucks. No, so I was saying like the Aiden Big thing.
I don't think Big would ever stay with Carrie. A. I don't think Aiden was strong enough for Carrie. B.
And she's a city girl. It's just like he was very country. So this politician guy, he was so nice, so fun. Like came with her to that firefighter show. Was always
Yeah, he
really
was
cool.
supportive.
Until supportive.
Cool with the gay
Cool
community.
dude.
Took
Pretty
her as like his
successful.
Not a homophobe.
no,
Right.
not a homophobe. Made her his Jackie O immediately. Like so cute.
And then he wanted to do some sex stuff that she didn't want to do. And she was like, nope, bye. And I'm not saying like you ever need to be into someone peeing on you. I'm not into that. But it
let him
also,
You
do it.
shouldn't yuck someone's yum.
but you shouldn't shame him like that.
Yeah.
You know, when he's been so nice
That's a
this
vulnerable
whole
thing
time.
to admit.
Right? Like, wouldn't he feel a little bad?
Right. It depends. I mean, there's people who have like
Men don't have
fetishes or
feelings, so.
kinks where they're
Yeah.
like they ask you once or whatever, but then there's some who like their whole world and their whole sexual existence revolves around that one thing. Especially like
that's-
people in my experience
yeah.
with foot fetishes.
Yeah. Once
So it
you
just
do foot,
depends.
you got to do
Right.
foot all
But
the
yeah,
time.
I agree. I'm like, unless something is dangerous or like truly makes you feel repulsed, try
Right,
it
yeah.
once.
Do you know who
Yeah.
likes foot stuff? Does anybody watch Vanderpump Rules?
I do.
Yeah,
I
Jax Taylor loves sucking on toes.
There's a lot of
Need a
people into foot
person.
stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause then what do you
I
gotta
think
do?
it's
You just gotta
nice.
jerk them off with your feet. That's
What do you
Touch
do with
your
the
feet,
toes?
Suck your feet.
Oh,
a lot of stuff.
sure.
Also, an episode
All
of
day,
Sex
do
and the
it.
City.
Yeah.
You know when Charlotte gets free shoes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that
yeah,
guy
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
touches her feet?
Yeah.
And then eventually she has to give it back, and she's like, "I'm sorry."
It's just more boring than anything. I don't have any problem with it. I'm just like, this is boring for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah, when I went to rewatch all the episodes a third time, I was like,
Sure.
seen it. I'm
Seen it, done it.
You
Well,
know, it was
that's like-
progressive when I was 13, for sure.
Totally. I feel
And
like
for
you
the-
were
the
coming
time.
at 13. Did you?
Oh, I was coming up 6.
I knew it.
What was your story?
Got a stuffed horse for Christmas.
Shut up.
And I was in my room and I was like, yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay, motherfucker. And then I was like, what? This feels good. And then it was just Hump City forever.
But like you were fully orgasming at 6? Because I mean, like I feel like it tingled and like feel good, but like a full orgasm.
Yeah. And then I just did it all
the time.
the time. But I was humping
Yeah.
everything. And what that does, though, is like I've heard about this like on Dan Savage's podcast. So people will call in and say, that's how I learned to come when I was a kid. And then
Humping stuff.
that's the only way you can really come when you're an adult. And that is true, at least for me.
Yeah. I have a lot of people who have humped blankets, pillows, still do it.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I tried with that, but it's not. I need like a solid surface. That's why I like the Hitachi magic wand, because the actual end of it is big.
Great.
It's a vibrator. It's very intense, but you can get a. I'm a nerd about this. You can get an extension so that that has an extra dial, so you can really make it go like any speed.
You don't get like overwhelmed by that though?
Nah.
No.
When you've been doing it since you were 6, though, you're like, ugh, next.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But even that, like that at its highest speed is like too much for me.
Can guys do it? Like how many of the guys that you fucked would you say you came with?
2,
Almost everyone.
3,
Really?
3.
Yeah. I'm an easy
crazy
cum.
difference.
This is so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
also,
also-
I wouldn't speak up.
Yeah, I'm really comfortable with my body, and it's like,
Oh, yeah.
you just have to give them a couple of directions. I mean, it's not difficult.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
And I've been
and-
with the same boyfriend for 7 years, so like obviously we figured that out. But
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, maybe like a one night stand or something. I mean, a lot of times that's also because like if you're drinking, like the guy's losing his erection, and like I can't come with a soft penis. I'm not that magical.
yeah.
And like
Unless you want to go in
You
the
don't
corner,
like mushing a soft weenus against
putting silly putty in a buttonhole.
And like it depends how much I care. Like if I'll be like, can you just finger me, or because I don't like
Put a little peanut
I
butter
don't
on
like
there. Here, boy.
masturbating like in front of like a one night
Yeah.
stand. Like I wouldn't even bother finishing myself off. I would just be like, we'll just
Well, especially if his
rain
dick
check.
wouldn't get hard. It's not like he's masturbating too, and that's hot. He's just like
It's just like we're both too
be a
drunk.
cam girl if you're gonna do that, you know. Which
Yeah, we're just both too drunk, or or
So
people
you're
aren't.
very directive, and
Yeah.
like you learned to be
Yeah.
through this first boyfriend.
No, I learned to be through my mother. I mean, I'm masturbating, obviously, but I mean, like, there's never been a day in my life where if I wanted something, like, I just don't. I like just.
yeah, she like says what she wants and
just
thinks. It's
ask-
kind of crazy.
Like I can't imagine going
insane.
through life
Like,
not
are you
doing
a
that.
woman at all?
Tell me
She
more
is.
about your mom, though. Like, was it a
mom's
sex
great.
talk with your mom?
No, I've never had a sex talk. That's more on me. I'm very difficult to talk to. So if there's like something I don't want to talk about, like there's just no way to talk about it. But like that, I'm like really good at research.
Yeah.
So like I picked up a book and learned about it myself. I found a book on my own bookshelf that was there about anatomy, and I figured everything out for myself.
Dr. Ruth.
No, it was like a children's book, but it had real sexual
Cool.
talk
Yeah.
in it. I found it to be very helpful. I don't
smart.
I don't need like
Very
a lot of
proactive.
emotions. Yeah, just like so that's why once the internet came, like I learned how to give a blowjob from an article on the internet.
Yeah.
Did a great job the first time. Like I need a book. I need a reference piece. I need some paperwork.
What's your sign?
Libra.
Interesting.
But according to Rosebud, I'm like, what did she say? She said something about like I think I act like another sign, maybe a Pisces. I don't know.
I see Pisces completely.
I'm surrounded by
Yeah.
Pisces in my life. In
Okay.
my life,
Yeah.
This
like
was a
very
thing.
logical and like
Yeah, I took it.
Pisces emotional.
they're hidden emotional.
Hidden.
They won't.
They're like
tell you, but
intellectuals.
they are very sensitive on the inside, and it's okay.
Yeah, I'm very sensitive on the inside. Sure.
Yeah.
We always say we're like super sensitive about being sensitive. Like, I'm not sensitive.
I cry every day.
You're crying.
I get moved to tears every day by dumb shit usually.
This is
Don't
us.
Call me by your name, then.
I will not. I've been warned.
literally,
I had a
like,
panic
you'll
attack in the
drown.
bathroom after Lady Bird, and I was like, all right,
Wait. I'm
I gotta
so
stop
happy you
watching movies.
brought up Lady Bird, because she says in the movie they're like talking about her first time having sex. She was like, to be honest, like I think I just prefer dry humping.
Yeah, because her first time was not great.
Dry humping is fun.
I really like it. Sometimes I'm just like lay on me for a moment, and then I'm ready to go.
Oh, human weight is the best.
yeah.
Mutual masturbation with someone you like is so fun and hot. I
I'm not
love
there
it.
yet, but
Well,
I
right,
think
'cause you
it
just-
would be
yeah.
fun.
I'm not there yet either, and that was another thing.
Did something go on in your family?
Yeah, what's up?
Well, okay.
Nana was
So
always
since
around.
you were talking about your mom and stuff, my mom has been plagued by this podcast because she thinks that she was so open with us and taught us everything and stuff. And like she was to an extent, but like she's like, did I not tell you that like there are smells and sounds and it's weird and it's funky, but it's fine? Like she's like, I'm pretty sure I told you that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really remember. But what I remember from our sex talks is like I was like terrified of like I remember hearing that girls at 13 were giving blowjobs around the city.
Yeah, it's
And
usually when.
And also in the
starts.
suburbs.
Yeah,
But
very true.
Also in the
Pembroke
suburbs.
Middle School,
but
shout out.
I always thought it was like a Gossip Girls thing. Like everyone was like starting so
Upper
early.
East Siders.
But I was
Sucking
like,
dick.
I was like they're putting their penises in the girls' mouth. Like what? And so I went home to my mom and I was like, Mom, there are girls doing this thing where they're putting boys' penises in their mouth. And she was like, it's a little young, but that's a thing that people do. And I was like,
Why,
what
Mommy?
do
Why?
you mean that's a thing that people do? She's like, it could be nice. And I was like, are you saying
I think I had a
that
similar
you
reaction.
put
yeah.
a penis
It's
in
disgusting.
your mouth? I was so horrified. I ran into my bathroom, took my blankie, by the way. I still had my blankie at 13, locked the door, sat in the bathtub, and sobbed for 3 hours.
That's the reaction I had at 14 when I found out sex involved insertion. and, like,
Okay.
thrusting.
Okay. So I'm not like very
No, that's
straight.
the proper reaction to a blowjob, Remy.
Okay.
I said the full sentence just as the helper walked out on purpose.
I was like, man, I can walk. She's wheeling
done
her
it.
own wheelchair. That's amazing.
Oh my god!
If only you guys could see what just happened.
Does that woman live here?
They have shifts. We've got
there's
a
multiple.
night-
That's who they is. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Nanny needs a lot of help.
Hair.
So wait, one thing that I had read about that like was a misconception. I did some reading.
Yeah, Remy was telling me yesterday.
Excellent research.
Yeah.
No, but you guys have said that like a common misconception that people have about you guys is that you are like super kinky and stuff. Like how has that kind of like manifested in your life and like
Well, I think it's because they only hear us talk about sex and that's it. But we talk about so many other things and we're interested in so many other things, but no one hears that. It's just, we talk about it on stage and stuff. But I think how it's manifested in our lives is just I'll be like on the subway or something and someone will just slowly scooch next to me and eventually be like, okay, so I have herpes, but I told the guy and then he stopped
my
talking to me,
God.
but like that's fucked up, right? Because I told him and I'm like, I'm sorry, what's your name? And
everyone
so they
feels
just
like
go
your best
for it.
friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I listen to podcasts, so I get that relationship. Because when I met Mark Maron, I was like, "You're my husband." What? Yeah. So I understand. But that's the main way it manifests that I see.
I mean, I think for me, it's like we've tried, I think, probably more sexual things than the average person, but that's not like what necessarily gets us off. Like I've been to a sex party, I've had sex in public, but none of these things are like my thing. Like I like a regular sex, I much prefer. Those things didn't bother me. I felt totally comfortable in those situations, and I think that's probably more than a lot of people like wouldn't just like go to 2 sex clubs in a weekend like with a friend. Like well, that's what like me and Harrison just went. And I'm like, let's just do this, and it was fun, and I'm glad I did it, and it's nice to know that it exists, but like not my thing. I'm not a person who's like about like making sex my entire lifestyle. And like some people are, and that's cool, but it's not for me.
Yeah, no, I said that to Krystyna literally yesterday. I was like, do I have to worry about like being like a sex person now? Cause like, there's
yes,
a
you do.
I mean,
like,
I mean, to be honest,
you'll be pitted
yes.
up
Yeah.
against that, but like
Okay.
you just go, I want to talk about this stuff.
but I feel like your podcast has evolved so much. Like
it has.
it used to just be, okay, guys, we fucked.
And there's still guys that we want to
And there's-
interview.
Yeah. And I'm sure.
Greg.
What'd you do,
Is
Greg?
he one of the 5 people?
My first boyfriend. I really want to interview him. And Christopher, if you're watching this,
Come on,
I'm not going to ever stop bugging
It
you.
would be extra weird if he like wouldn't be on the podcast, but then he's just watching all the live streams that you ever do.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is only like this. I think though we consider like I always say like I guess I'm vanilla because some people are into some crazy shit, but I like seeing my boyfriend fuck another person, so I think that's pretty kinky. That's
Cool.
a kink.
Yeah. I don't know why I always say cool when I mean,
Cool.
whoa, I'm scared. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. I'm not terrified.
I just like, for me it's like I feel very like vanilla and boring sometimes, and then I hear other people and I'm like, oh, I'm not boring, and then I hear other people and I'm like, I'm a loser. Have I
Yeah.
even had sex?
You should just compare yourselves for the sole purpose of just gathering ideas
For sure.
and
Yeah.
figuring out if you want to do it or not. Well, once you kind of geek out on it and talk to a lot of people who are like more intense than you and less intense than you, you kind of get to this point where you're like, I just want to fuck people out of curiosity now.
Yeah.
Like I want to fuck a 70-year-old. I just want to see.
Interesting.
I just
See,
wanna know.
that's where I
Cool,
am with
cool.
porn right now.
Ah.
I'm like, I just want to know what a
see, I can't.
70-year-old's balls look like.
See, I don't want to know
wanna
porn
know.
'cause
I just
don't
want to
wanna-
look.
I want to know the person attached to those balls first.
Okay.
You know?
fair.
But I have to
He
get
could be a
emotional.
great
I have to
guy.
get I have to get to know you
Yeah.
before I see your balls.
Yeah. Well, no, what I was going to say too is that your pod has evolved so much that it's just like, it's a fun conversation with your friends now.
Yeah.
And there is sex in it and stuff, but it's a lot more like Corinne and Krystyna and like awesome educators and shit.
Yeah, most times we actually don't know the people, I would say.
Yeah.
More times than not. And then we get to know them throughout, an hour or 90 minutes. And that's cool.
We dive into some dark stuff, which I love doing.
Yeah.
Like the last episode we had about the girl who got out of ultra Orthodox Judaism. We've talked
That
to
was insane.
Troy Allen's dad, comedian Troy. His dad is a pedophile. We talked to him about that.
Well,
We've
her
talked to
dad
Wendy
too was a
Starling.
pedophile apparently.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He
Avi's dad,
liked
yeah.
babies.
Gotta read that file.
Oh, me too. But also, I don't want to know.
I'm
But
scared,
yeah, exactly.
But cool.
But yeah, I like I like digging into stuff. Like before we were interviewed, Avi was our guest this past week. I was like, this is going to be one of those like really good ones where we get deep into something like kind of dark that I know nothing about, and I like learning from the guests.
Yeah. I thought that a lot of this podcast would be like super dark because like I was like, I'm pretty freaky. Like I've tried everything. And since I wasn't coming and realized, I was like, oh, it must be this like underlying, like I must be like into kids.
Like a
And
psychological
Charlotte,
That's where you went,
Charlotte
huh?
kept being like, well, because I was like, I think I'm pretty in tune with myself. It must be this like weird locked up thing where, and Charlotte was like, stop being so dark and twisty and say you want to fuck kids. And I'm like, I don't, but I must want to, right? Because I
was
can't.
like, no,
come.
that's not what
Yeah,
you must
that's not-
want to do.
No,
And
and
then I
then
turned on Nickelodeon and I was like, no,
no, and then the realization is no. This requires work.
womanizer,
And the womanizer,
which I tried, but it didn't work. But I'm glad it worked for you. It's good.
You're a vibration guy.
Yeah.
I'm a suction guy.
Very
That was great
different.
that you said that. I also hate vibration. It makes me feel so nauseous.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I just masturbate with my hand, but
Look at you. I
don't like
never.
stuff.
Wish.
I don't like contraptions on my vagina. No,
Give me
thank
all the
you.
contraptions. Just shove.
I
them in
literally
there.
have a case. I'll give you some shit because I have a chest full of shit that's never getting used. And
Amazing.
It's honestly,
Oh, yeah.
like, it's wasted.
Some are
It's-
comical.
It's
Some of
being
the dildos.
wasted.
Hands
I'll
are
take it
hard
all
for me
with your hands.
sometimes. I get too into my own self of like, I'm not turning me on.
Yeah.
So like,
See, that's the main problem.
Yeah.
That's
See,
definitely
that's-
turning me on.
Yeah.
Touch
You
my
gotta do
boob.
that.
Like all that
You gotta
stuff. Like
touch the
Yeah,
boob.
you went to a
making love
class.
to
It just made me
yourself.
laugh, and
Yeah.
I that you went
It's
to.
true,
I could be
though.
making so much fucking money because like you went to a class to have some like lady tell you to touch your own butt, and I was like, I've been doing that for like the decade.
Okay, but it's
Like,
not obvious to all of us, Corinne. And
But that's why I'm angry. I'm like fucking so mad. I'm like I could be a zillionaire by now.
Well, that's the thing. It's been an interesting experience seeing Corinne learn that most people don't talk and most
Yeah.
people don't come. Like
Yeah.
a lot of women like have never.
I understand
That
the
I
don't,
didn't really
the don't
know.
talking, but like the other stuff is like, or,
like, just
or the
do
not
it.
like wanting or like not feeling comfortable touching your own body. Like,
Yeah. That I didn't know. I was
that
like,
makes
damn.
me sad.
Yeah,
my answer is always like society.
Damn society.
Damn
But you never-
society.
I feel
Such
comfortable
little
touching my own
instances.
body. I'm just not always turned on by my own body.
I'm not
all the
always down
time.
for her.
Yeah.
Some of them
I
like,
mean, I don't always
ooh.
think I look good, but I'm always like, I'm never like I'm repulsed by
No,
myself.
If you close your eyes, it's like you can be whoever you want to be.
Yeah, like
I
you have to
think
be in the
that's
mood. I'm not
true.
I can't just masturbate like any day, no
Yeah.
matter what. Like I have to
Yeah.
be in the mood the same way you would have to be in the mood to have sex with a partner.
Like watching porn turned
Yeah.
on is one thing. Watching porn when you're not turned on at all, it's fucking hilarious.
Hilarious. Yeah. Well, so Charlotte and I were talking about dirty talk earlier, and we were saying like, is it harder for you because like being a comic, like things are inherently funny about sex and saying like, I'm gonna put my finger in your butthole. Like,
well, when you say it like, yeah.
Yeah, no, like,
don't
that's
say
the
it like
problem.
that, Remy.
like, I'm sorry.
I would
Finger
say
in your
don't
fucking
use
ass.
butthole at all.
Yeah, butthole is not a hot term.
What are you
Yeah.
supposed to? What's the sexiest way to text butthole?
ass.
I would say ass.
Ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up your
Never
ass.
say butthole.
Yeah.
Remy.
Up
Put
yeah.
my finger in
Tight
your
ass
ass.
Charlotte
or
knows what's
whatever.
up.
Okay.
Ass.
Okay,
No
ass.
butthole.
Yeah,
All
no
right.
butthole. That's elementary.
But do you ever find it silly, or you're able
Sometimes,
to?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
Corinne's good at it. I'm not because of that very reason, but I've gotten better at it. And it's really fun. Once you get in the zone and you're doing it, you're fine.
Yeah.
But like one time, the other, like a couple weeks ago, Steven tried to like, he would say, it's like, I want to massage you, like be able to massage your shoulders. And we were both naked and I was on my stomach and he was, tried to like massage me and he went in for this like technique, like no lotion or anything. And I was like, and he goes, yeah. And I was like, just stop. Just no. I'm going to turn over now. You can stop that. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Oh, Steven. How does Steven feel? Like, okay, so you started the podcast when you had just had a breakup, but you've been with Steven this whole time.
Yeah.
How was his, because everybody's response to me no matter what. Oh, that's your podcast. What does Ben think about it? Is Ben bad at sex or whatever?
Oh, well, I guess I understand why their brains would go there only because of the premise.
Sure, but I feel like it's my podcast and my orgasm and whatever. And how come
so why do we care what Ben thinks?
Right. Why? And how much do you care about what Steven and like what James thinks?
My boyfriend didn't think the podcast was a good idea, and I was like, you're wrong. That's cute. So bye.
Okay.
Not bye as in we broke up. But
No,
I was like,
but
that's incorrect.
Shut up. That's not a thing. That's not going to happen.
And then I remind him of that all the time.
Yeah.
Remember that time you were wrong?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's glorious.
Yeah, I mean, James is really
favorite
James has to be respectful of any opinion I have because I am so respectful of any opinions he has.
Yes.
And so that's why I got him in a chokehold. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
He really can't say anything.
And that's what love is, kids.
you really are like, you guys back the shit out of each other, and
that's what it's about. I mean, like if a
Yeah.
partner doesn't have my back, then like
No,
what?
totally.
Like we're like I always I don't know. I've heard something before. Like you should like no matter what fight your partner gets into, like outside of the home, you back them up,
you
and then
back
inside
them, and then
you're
inside
like, what
you
the
fight.
fuck are you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
And that's how I live. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very smart.
No, I think that's
And
a good way
mature.
to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, oh god, I just in my head, I'm like just rolling my eyes, like, oh, I gotta get him out of this one now. But
Oh my God.
It's
Ben
fine.
posted the other day on Facebook, Black Panther wasn't that good. Just to get a rise out of people.
I mean, that's hilarious.
I bet.
Good for
If
him.
that got a rise out of people, that's very funny.
Yeah.
He does that a lot.
Yeah. He does that a lot.
He keeps you on your toes.
Or after the school shooting, he posted, I am
shit.
going to kill you all.
See, that's so funny knowing him. Because the fact that like he will be too high to even get the guns together.
He'll like forget where
Be
he
like,
put
how
it.
do you? Fuck it, pizza.
Yeah.
It's so sweet.
With what? Your day old like noodles?
I'm gonna chug a water
Fucking
bottle.
kill all of you. But I love him. But I love him. Yeah. No, but I'm always thinking, everyone's always like, how's Ben get? And I'm like,
Huh.
I don't, like, of course I care. I love him. He's my boyfriend. I would
Yeah,
never
but
want to
that's-
whatever. But ultimately, like, this is my thing. And he's super respectful of it. And so that's
Good.
great. But yeah, I was thinking if any boyfriend wasn't of you, they'd probably
does your
be
boyfriend
gone by
not
now.
feel like a man?
Yeah.
That's always people's been concerned, but who cares?
Femasculated?
Yeah, it's a word.
It's a word.
Do they listen all the time to all your stuff?
Mine boyfriend? Yeah. Oh, he edits it. So yeah.
Mine doesn't
got
unless I tell him to listen to like a specific episode.
Yeah.
But I like that because I feel I can talk freely and say whatever I want.
Totally. I just had a question too. Like you touched on your experience of like just being gung ho research wise.
Yeah, I love research.
Um,
There's lots of times on the podcast where I'll be like, we'll talk about something, and then everyone else is like, okay with just like letting it go, and I'm like, no, I'm
I
I'm
don't let
googling it
anything go.
right this second.
Yeah.
A word, a thing that happened a year, I can't just let it.
I've
slide.
become really unpleasant, I think, to be around like with my friends because of my job. That like I don't.
But it's good to have the right
things-
facts.
It is,
And not many people take the time to read
That's
up.
the thing, it's
I've
really
retweeted
time-consuming.
headlines, and then I realized, oh, that was dumb. I shouldn't have
Well,
done
the
that.
thing is, what we do is someone will say, look into this, and then not just prove it, but what is every argument against that?
Yeah.
So it's all about like
love that.
really what are all the perspectives, what could
Yeah,
be
it's
the
not about-
possible
Yeah.
argument. What like I literally had to do a check in what way could Trump be right about this? Like so I really
I
just
want to
like
know those things.
Me
too.
too.
for sure.
I-
It just
I
takes
want him to be-
a lot of fucking time, you know?
Honestly, I started watching Fox News after the election, and we don't have to get very political, but there are some good points.
It's just important to know what else
Cool
people
Yeah.
are thinking too.
There's some good points. Most of it
I just follow
exhausting.
Other, you just
but-
if you're interested in doing that, just do the John Ronson trick, which is just follow people who aren't like crazy, who are conservatives on Twitter.
Right.
Honestly, I do follow Ann Coulter. I know she's very gaslighty,
Yeah.
but I do like her. I've met her in person. She's a normal human being. A lot of it's like a Simon Cowell level act for TV. And so if you follow a couple people like that, then you can get some information that from what just at least what the other side is thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
for
important. You gotta be able to talk to other people who don't agree, because it's not like the end of the world. We can have a conversation about it.
yeah, it's
You know?
very difficult
Your
for me.
your
It
views
is
might be
difficult for you.
stupid.
Remy yells a lot. I yell a lot. I ruin all of our family dinners.
Why are your family conservative?
No.
Gamut.
Well,
People
I
like
don't
to
know.
be like, what Louis C.K. did was okay, right?
Oh, with sexual assault. That's
Yeah.
always
It was more of an yeah.
I mean, the other day someone told me women need to pick their arguments, who I like really love, and I'm like, I'm gonna murder you in your
What
sleep.
the fuck?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, it got a little whatever.
It's
It's not important.
It's not important.
Stuff like that. It's like there can be a fine line of like that was really fucked up. You don't have to take all the specials down on HBO, but that was
Right.
fucked up what he did. But he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Well, there
I'm
need
not
to
saying
be
ruin him
different.
forever.
There need to be different categories of things. I
Yeah.
think because for the people that it happened to first, like not everyone wants to say I was a rape survivor. You're like I
'cause
was a
then you're the
victim of
raped
sexual
person.
assault, and then you're that
That's annoying.
person.
yeah.
There need to be levels of
Yeah. And you got to be able to talk about those levels
The
without
nuance. Yeah.
yeah.
freaking the fuck out.
Yeah. No, there's that. And then also, like, one of our discussions that we've been having a lot is what age do you learn about sex and who teaches you? And, if it's not health class, because it
And
can't
if you're
be
not a
health class.
researcher,
Or
like
like
this
yeah,
one.
and if you're not
No
researching.
one taught me about sex.
No one?
Zero. No people. Because
There's
in
really no
health
excuse
class,
with the internet,
in
though.
health class, yeah, I didn't really.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I
the
kinda had
internet's
internet,
wrong
but
in a
I
lot of
wasn't allowed to
places.
go
Like,
on
you
it
can
a
go
lot.
down some wormhole and it's
You
like,
could.
Gotta go to Scarlet Teen.
what's that?
It's the most informative. I wrote about it in our book. It's a really informative website for. It's meant for teenagers, obviously, but
Very
it's,
informative for adults
it was
as well.
informative for me at 30 when I was writing the book. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you just kind of.
So you didn't have a sex talk ever?
My
Like,
mom
how did that happen?
attempted to have a sex talk with me when we were on a family vacation at the beach and two people were fucking in a sleeping bag on the sand. And my mom goes, "Do you know what they're doing?" And I was like, "Yes." And then I walked away, and that was the sex talk. And then it took me a while to learn that sex involved insertion. Didn't know that part. That was
What did you
freaky.
think it was?
I didn't know. Rubbing up
Rubbing,
because I was
rubbing.
humping everything. So I
Right,
thought that's
right.
what it was.
Yeah.
That's why I thought I could get pregnant from humping stuffed animals because I was like, any day now, I would like wipe myself when I was a kid. I'm like, is there blood? Because that means there's a baby on the way.
About it? Like, any
No,
day
no,
now,
no. I
or
was
like,
dreading it. I was
any
like,
day
I'm
now?
just, I don't know. Should I kill myself or like, I guess I'll just tell them when I'm pregnant. I guess I'll just let them know, whatever.
But the
And
threat
I
of
really,
being pregnant wasn't
My
enough to
stuffed
stop
horse.
you.
nope,
to
felt
stop
real
you
good.
From,
Nope, not at all.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yep, you're telling me. Very crazy. And
Holy shit.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
Because I was like,
Walk
"This
her to the
doesn't
sex
hit me."
and you're
table
like,
one.
Because I also doubted myself that was accurate information, but not strongly enough that the fear wasn't in me.
Right.
But I was like,
I'm not going to
gamble it
stop
away.
doing this fun thing. if I get pregnant, my family will get over it.
Yeah.
I'm 7.
Honestly, I
It's
thought that
fine.
at
They
like
love
7
me.
years old.
Yeah.
Because I knew nothing about period. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
No one told me.
Okay, so how'd you figure it out?
Co-ed sleepover in the 9th grade. We were watching Vanilla Sky, and Penelope Cruz and Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was like on top of her, thrusting in and out, and I was like, "Wait, why does he keep going in and out?" I thought it was just like you just lay there and then you wait and then you're done. And then my friend was like, "Wait, what?" And she stopped the movie and was like, "Tell everybody what you just said." And I was like, "No, no, it was fine. It wasn't as mean. It wasn't mean." I was like, "But why is Tom Cruise going in and out of her like that?" And then everyone's like, "You're a fucking idiot. That's what sex is." And I was like, "Oh, cool." It was very casual. And then when I first had it, it felt like, oh, I'm a woman now. But the guy, it wasn't a lot of communication. My first sexual experience with my boyfriend, but it wasn't like Corinne's where he was like, "Hey, let's take your time and touch yourself like this," and
Yeah.
But I was young, so.
How long had you been dating your boyfriend?
I think like 6 months.
And you didn't come the first time you banged?
The very
God.
first time was because it was too painful, you
Yeah.
know. So it was like almost like it was like part 1 and part 2. Like we started it.
You got to break the seal.
Yeah, basically we started it, did a couple
Took a
thrusts,
breather.
then took a breather, and then the next day, like fully did it in my dorm room. Did I come? Maybe. I don't really remember. It's just
Okay.
never been a
Also,
thing,
too,
so I don't
Yeah.
know.
One
Yeah.
thing that I researched for the book that we had written was like, okay, why can some women come and some can't? Like, what the hell? And then some people, like Wendy Starling, you were talking about earlier, she is someone who I would say has a magical vagina.
Yeah.
That it doesn't take a lot of stimulants to have her come, and that's so awesome. I'm so jealous of that.
Yeah.
And but it's the anatomy. It's how close is the clit from
Totally.
the hole, and
Yeah.
how big is it, and how wide, and what? Because everyone's vagina is so different that sometimes you're just not set up to do it. And there's so many different ways. And I had an anal orgasm when I was younger, and I was
Really?
like, I didn't know that was a thing. And then
How old?
It is, like 18 or 19.
with someone's fingers?
A vibrator.
In your butt.
But I was like, this is awesome.
But you put a vibrator up
Not
there.
up, just on.
Just on.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was,
Really
but I was like,
interesting.
what the fuck? How? We don't know anything about female anatomy.
No, and they're
Zero.
gonna do a lot.
But it's
they'll
also
do a
there's
lot
also
more
a lot of
research now.
anxiety-based reasons why people aren't coming.
That's
it's not
totally.
just anatomical.
Because you have to be, in the right, you have to be relaxed.
Yeah.
But also,
totally.
like, in sex ed, they talk about the sperm going to the egg. Well, obviously, okay, that's the guy's orgasm, but they don't even mention a female orgasm.
Also, though, I've just been thinking about this. How many times in life do you come to make a baby? 4?
Well, I
If
haven't
you
yet,
have 4
so.
babies. Like, most of the sex that 99.99999% of the sex that everyone's having is
For pleasure.
for pleasure and
Yeah.
not to have a kid.
Yeah, but in school they're faking it like it's only for productivity.
yeah, they're trying
Right.
to scare you.
But that's crazy.
It is crazy.
And
School
so,
crazy.
But yeah, so then you think that
There's a lot of bullshit you learn in school. I mean, social studies, you also learn like a really select amount of inaccurate information.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, I mean, it's all, I would
As
just
you
say,
know.
don't pay attention.
do your own research.
In general, yeah.
Do your own thing.
I mean, I told my 6th grade teacher that Christopher Columbus was an asshole, and like she like flipped out on me. But
you
I
were
was
right.
right.
But you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I fucking did my research.
I started hysterically crying in 7th grade science class because they said global warming was a theory, and I said no, that shit's real.
The internet was in my life as much as now. Back when I was taking social studies in middle school and high school, I would have fucking called those teachers out on everything. Damn.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I don't know. Is there ever like times you guys have conversations that you wish someone had asked you something, or like that you just want to get out that you wish people knew? You
About
know?
us or about the person we were talking
Whether
to?
it's you or your podcast.
I mean, there's a lot of things that people think they know that are inaccurate. There's nothing I wish people knew. I wish people knew less about me, if anything. That's my wish. It's far too much for the world to know already.
Yeah, if anything, I would say I'm too real on the mics and probably should tone it back a little bit.
I think it's just that like sex is important, and you should have a healthy sexual relationship with yourself and with your partner, and that prioritizing sex in a relationship doesn't make you like a shallow person. But beyond that, there are a lot more, in my opinion, important things just in life than sex and and sexuality and like I don't know, like I'm like a big like pleasure is not gonna ever be my primary thing.
But I also think there's a link to that and why you can make yourself like I think
that I don't like pleasure.
no, that you're not so concerned with it that you make it this end all be all.
Yeah,
and
that
put a lot of
it's
pressure
not on your
yourself.
brain
It's
as
just
hard.
a
Yeah.
chill approach.
Yeah,
I think that's got to be
I
helpful.
put a ton of pressure on myself, just not sexually.
Yeah.
That's good because that's what like your mental state can fuck up you having an orgasm or not. That's part of it. I
Have
think.
there ever been times that you guys wanted to quit the podcast?
I mean,
For me, no.
It'll come naturally. I mean, there's not been like a day when I'm like, there's days when I've been like, this is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is weighing,
like
or
what
this is
happened
weighing on me.
those days. Where
I
you're
mean,
like,
it's mostly like it's just having this inbox of that's constantly on your phone, where the people are just telling you the stories of their lives, and they're just so bad. And you're like,
sad,
and you're like,
tragic.
why? And then I almost feel like on edge all the time, like, oh, it's only a matter of time before something really bad happens to me, because I feel like it's unfair that some of these people have had such difficult lives. And I mean, I've had, struggles and stuff, but not like, there's like really horrific
a lot of guilt.
like a lot of horrific things going on. And this is also just like, the lack of understanding that people have for one another, even still, lack of understanding people have for us, and lack of tolerance for one another, and it's just a lot, and it really it's heavy. It's like it was like we fucking started a comedy podcast. This is a
I
lot.
want to talk to our exes about the dick that they gave, but like
a lot.
Yeah, I feel like Corinne and I can't realize that sexual assault happens as often as it does very early on in the podcast, and it felt like we had this secret that no one else knew, but we knew.
Yeah.
And it was, even though we would talk about it all the time and be like, everyone was raped, basically. Who knows this is crazy. And we would read all the subject lines and we would read whatever. Now it's interesting to see everybody coming forward with their stories. I like it because then it's like, now the fucking world gets to, be inundated with this.
And it weighs on you when
10%
you're
the
the
way
one
we
who has
are.
that
Yeah.
secret too, because you're just like, listen to us.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's also like this. Yeah, we've been going through this for 4 years, so everyone's like, "Time's up." Me too. I'm like, "Yeah, we've."
Yeah,
been,
it's been that way for a while.
this has always been. Me too.
Yeah.
Started 10 years ago,
Yeah.
guys. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why everyone thinks this is new. It's not.
No,
it's not new at all.
I actually like, and my podcast is super new, but my best comment sent to me was also the worst comment sent to me, because it was
Oh,
like
really?
this woman who said that she came for the first time like doing Wendy Starling's assignment or whatever. She'd
Nice.
never like taken time for herself, but in that was like, yeah, because I've had really traumatic sex and I've been raped and I, and so it was really
Wendy
hard
has
for me
those
to hear and really
experiences,
exciting for me to hear at the same time. And it was just like,
Yeah, but it's also like I want. Like I'm never have the attitude of, oh, we shouldn't tell me that, or
No,
it
no,
doesn't.
no.
But it truly, the most heinous things that you could think of happening to a person we've read in
Yeah.
very detail, and when you get girls saying, I'm 15 and my best friend got pregnant, she doesn't want to tell her family, so she's running around her high school's track drinking vodka, punching herself in the stomach. What do I do?
yeah.
We have resources. There's funds
Yeah.
in every state, but there's so many. But that to me, I'm like, okay, but then I gotta hop on the call with my manager, so I can't respond to this email right now, and then
Yeah.
it slips your mind, and then you're like, hope
You
that
feel
kid's
guilty.
alive.
Yeah.
That's the exhausting
That
part.
sucks.
But spreading information, hopefully we'll get to the point where everyone has access to the info.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not like you can't help every individual person on a one-on-one basis. It's like putting more tools and open
Like resources.
conversation out into the universe, and then just hoping that kind of trickles down.
Yeah.
Like what I mean, I know we keep bringing up the book, but I was very scared to write a book because I'm like, this is going to be on this page for the end
Forever.
of time.
Yeah.
This is horrifying. But I'm like, I really want to put these resources in there for abortion and for sexual assault, and there's Women on Waves is a
I
group of
love
boats on a
that shit.
gynecologist on a boat
Yep.
that will come to you and give you a safe legal
Abortion on
and
the
it's
water.
like people don't realize, like, if you want an abortion, you're going to figure it out one way or the other, and it's either going to be a way that's illegal and might kill you, or a way that's safe and everybody's,
Right.
So
In America, everyone it's more difficult in some states, but we were just talking about it this week. Like in America, you should be able to get, especially if you're still in a time in the pregnancy where you can do an abortion pill, where you can access a
Someone
safe
to mail
way
it to you.
a safe
Yeah.
way to do it. As far as other countries, I cannot make that promise, but I would think it's pretty safe to say that in America, you should be able to get someone to get it to you, to mail it to you. And like, yeah, you're doing something illegal, but obviously you shouldn't care about the
Cool.
law in this situation.
Did you smoke weed this
So-
week? Cool. You can have a little abortion.
so did the big banks in 08.
yeah, they did. What was the best fan mail you ever got?
Oh, I don't know if I could do it down to one. I mean, we've gotten a couple that's like, I was going to kill myself, but then you
And then I
talked
did
about
it.
suicide and I did
lot of
it.
those.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
Those
unreal.
are my
A
favorites.
lot of those. Those are good
good.
ones.
That's a
Those are
good
really
one.
good.
That's a good one.
Or like I like when I was reading one the other day. I go through periods where I'll read all the emails and then I just won't for a while. But this girl was playing the podcast when she was cooking and her boyfriend listened and they started talking. We were talking about anal and then they started talking about it and then they did this crazy thing that they never even dreamed of and it was the best thing ever. And their sex life is amazing and they were both not having fun and not telling each other. One of the email, this girl was like, you guys talk about, you read something from somebody who was molested and I got the courage to tell my boyfriend of 6 years or something that I was molested. And then his reaction was, oh my God, I was molested too. And I was like, what the fuck? Like people, I like when it brings people together.
Yeah,
I
no,
like
it
when
really
couples
does.
are molested.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like when they talk
So,
about it. And then they write to me so I feel good.
I did a good job.
Because otherwise,
they got
fuck
I
it.
love when couples are molested. It's the best. That's the best thing about guys we fucked.
Oh boy.
That's going to be the title of this episode. I love when couples.
We've gotten
Works for
letters
me.
from pedophiles
Don't
and
read the
rapists.
headlines only. yeah.
Yeah, right.
No, but Charlotte used to work on a suicide hotline, so that's a gratifying thing.
Oh, that's funny. I was just actually working on signing up.
They should
for
have
one.
comedians do it.
That's more so you don't commit
Yeah,
suicide.
because you should be like, if you don't stop talking, I'm gonna kill myself. And
But it is weird, like all stand-ups, like being in comedy, and these very dark, serious issues come into it. But I feel like it's the best way to talk about stuff.
it's the best feeling.
Ever.
The best laugh is laughing at something really uncomfortable.
Really
like
dark
when
sometimes,
Troy Allen we were talking about earlier, when he was like his dad molested his sisters, and he's like, guess it wasn't hot enough. My dad just didn't touch me at all. And I was like, that's fucking hilarious. Well, obviously you make the joke, I won't, but that's very funny. And if you go there, I'll go there.
Yeah, there's a way, and like you guys were saying, like it's not just about sex. You don't have to be like sex obsessed. Like there's a way to talk about sex in a
Like an adult.
nonchalant way, like an adult. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what bothered me sometimes when people would hear about this podcast would be like, whoa, it's about
Smutty.
orgasm. Like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah,
It's
grow the
just
fuck up.
eye roll.
Fuck up.
Like, oh my
Bye.
God, please stop.
totally. It's
No,
very
I had
immature.
One of my best friends,
Yep.
I was like, I'm starting this thing, and it's about how I can't come or whatever. She goes, ew, TMI.
Jesus.
And I was
See ya,
like,
Tiffany.
aren't you more like concerned that this has not happened to me? Like, there was
Yeah.
no.
How is she your best or close friend and didn't know that you
She-
hadn't came? Like,
Well,
how
I really didn't talk about it with anybody. I didn't-
really?
Oh.
Were you because
So
it
you're
was
like,
I
you know
shame?
what?
didn't. No, I just didn't
Podcast.
think it was a thing. I like
You thought it was normal?
I thought it was normal. Yeah.
Oh.
Until I started doing stand up, and then like I literally Esther Steinberg's the first person that I was like,
Oh, bless her soul.
So you do a lot of masturbation talk in your set. I don't come. And she was like, okay, so this is what you got to do, and like sent me home with homework. And she was like the first one. But yeah, no, I don't have anybody else that I was really chatting with. And then when Charlotte told me that she came, I was like, wait, I got to work on this. She's younger than me.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
who's who?
she's
Okay.
3.5 years younger than me.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's
I'm a late bloom.
You bloom when you bloom.
Yeah.
you know? And then you bloom.
Yeah, you also saved yourself a lot of time, honestly, because once you so now you can like go through the coming stuff now when normally you would start to be getting bored sexually.
True.
Like, you know, when I first started coming, like when I was in college, I would just literally like like when my roommate would go away, I would lock the door, turn up the heat, and like be naked all weekend. Like, I wouldn't do that now. I mean, every once in a blue moon, but it's just like I don't really have full weekends to
Got
devote
other
to
stuff to do.
masturbating.
Yeah.
you know?
Those are the days.
See, I felt so pent up this entire time that like I wish obviously that I could have just done it, because I've with every boyfriend I've ever had, hey, let's fuck, and I want to fuck again, and I'm still not done, and I want to fuck.
Whoa.
No, it was just like I'm always horny because I'm not fucking done or whatever, and like I was just so pent up and like pissed all the time. I'd keep trying, and I was
Yeah.
all naggy and annoying and like looked like a
Naggy,
demon,
or
and
you just wanted to come?
I just want to fuck and
Yeah,
come and
yeah.
you know whatever. And then after the womanizer, I literally wasn't wanting for sex for like 3 days. I was like, I'm good.
You should incorporate
I'm
that
a
in
monk.
sex.
What do you mean?
It-
Like
just put it on you while you're having sex.
So we tried to do that. We were in a hotel room in Atlantic City this weekend, and I was like, this will be great. There's no people next door except for like maybe. And I tried it with that, and the screaming happened, but I couldn't mentally get past it. So but
yeah,
he was really
that's
sweet.
yeah,
and he was
that's
like,
the trial
it'll
and
happen.
error. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep trying stuff.
From what position did you try?
What?
That matters too.
Oh,
Was he on top?
he was behind. So we were giving.
Oh, try.
That's hard for clit stimulation.
Yeah, try being on your
but
back.
The thing was here. I mean,
Yeah.
the womanizer was on my clit, and then he was hitting it from behind.
But when you came in the bathroom, though, you were laying on your back.
I was looking in the mirror,
But then you
standing, and then I
yeah.
was on all fours on the floor.
Oh, on all fours. Okay.
I feel like just for coming on when you're on in doggy style is a
hard.
little harder.
Yeah, when you're getting, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, for me personally, when I incorporate a vibrator, which I do most of the time,
Yeah.
I'm on. He's on top,
It's easier
or
for
because
me.
then I
doggy.
just focus on keeping it there.
Where's
and then
the
he goes
placement?
down.
Can you?
Yeah,
can
what
you
is the
sit
placement
on,
when they're on
Can
top?
you
Wait,
sit
how?
on his penis
See,
with
I
that
can only
on?
do it when I'm in doggy. How do you even maneuver the vibrator if
Because
he's
he
on top
has
of you?
I don't know.
Like
I
if
don't.
his- if
I've
your
never
legs
done
are on the
sex toys and
shoulders,
whatever.
you got all that room, and then the holes down
Wait,
there.
he's where?
If he's on top, but basically like if like you know when sometimes guys will put your legs on their shoulders,
Yeah.
right? So they're like
up.
this,
Got it.
right? So there's a little space, and
Yeah.
then that's where you
It
go.
also depends how high or low your clit is. It's not the same.
yeah,
for
that's what I was gonna
everyone.
say.
Mine's kind of high, I think. So
I
that's
clit's
why it
right
works.
here.
Mine's
Just-
real buried in there.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Innie,
Gotta-
an
we
innie.
gotta-
and
yeah.
that's usually
Safari.
typically people with innies. I guess you want to whatever you fuck you want to call it. It's harder.
It's harder. Yeah. And also, I don't like being out in the breeze, so it's a real catch-22. We'll figure it out. There'll be more stuff. And so, yeah, I said from the beginning of this podcast that even if I did come, like, obviously it doesn't end.
I know. I was
because
like, how
this
many
isn't-
episodes in did you come?
This is 6.
It seems like you started and then you came immediately, and I was like, is this God's cruel joke?
Yeah, right?
But maybe talking about it and talking to other people about it was what you
It
needed.
helped so much. Like, I was sent books. It was a really nice preparation. And so if you're still not coming, would you go back and watch all the episodes, listen to all the episodes and do the assignments?
Studious approach.
But also too,
No,
like
thank
people, there's a lot of people like you, and I think it's good to. It's interesting to see where you go from here.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe with my hand someday. Maybe with a man someday. Who knows?
Children's book. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
with
I
a
smell
hat,
it.
maybe on a bat. What? I don't know.
There's nothing better than a cartoon book for adults.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Well, that's what that cartoon about
Oh,
sexuality is.
Nicole's show.
Yeah. What
on
the hell's that
Netflix. It's
called?
so good.
Oh,
the
Big
puberty.
Mouth?
Yeah, Big
Yes.
Mouth.
About adolescence.
So funny.
Yeah.
Very informative.
I need to
Very
watch it.
informative. I like shows where it's like entertainment and then they stick in
Some
Yeah.
facts.
information.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the best.
I need to watch it. Is it like Nick Kroll's voice or is it very John Mulaney? Or a
Both.
mixture?
They're
Yeah,
both.
there's
And Maya
a ton of
Rudolph.
celebrities
Maya
in
Rudolph
it.
does a lot
Yeah.
of voiceover.
I actually pretty
love
much
her.
hate cartoons, and I liked it a lot.
I have a weird thing about adult cartoons. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
You need to get
I don't
away
like
from
cartoons,
that
but it's
because
good.
I
It's
don't
good.
know
F
what
is
it
for
is.
family is really good. It's not really about sex. Well, there is
Bob's
some
Burgers,
great
Rick and
cartoon
Morty.
balls.
Don't watch any of
Basically,
them.
like that and BoJack Horseman is the
Oh,
only
yeah.
one I
I
can
love
do
BoJack.
as far as like adult
BoJack's great.
cartoons.
It's not like I will watch them and hate them. I just haven't watched them, which is
because you have an aversion.
it's something strange.
I know if I'm looking
I
at
guess I
Netflix,
watched
I'm
Family
like,
Guy when I was
want
younger.
humans.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
you. I'm like, can we do real people, please?
Yeah.
What do you think of sex robots now that we're talking humans?
Wish they made.
versus-
Do they make male ones?
I think
Yeah.
so.
I would
think
buy
sex
one.
robots
Came out
are
with a new one.
awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
I mean, I think it's like, I would buy one.
And because I think a lot of women,
Sounds
like we were
fun.
talking about, are in their head a lot. But if you have a male sex robot, you don't have to worry about what no one thinks. Because
Yeah.
who cares? And you could probably figure out how you come.
Yeah.
Wait, can you
during sex
describe to me what
better.
kind of robot you're talking about? Like what this thing would look like?
Like a real live. There's very high tech robots now that look like people.
Like
and move like
fleshlights are
people.
made
Yeah.
out of shit.
I know what you're talking
Like
about.
Someone told me.
silicone.
Yeah, but it's
Or-
not that because it's the way it told me in the book. That was the one edit I had to make, and I forget what it's. Super skin.
Superskin.
Yes, I remembered. And so that feels not like skin, but pretty close, like more
Yeah.
similar than silicone. So
Like
they're probably
softer,
made out of
yeah.
that.
And they have different personalities.
Whoa.
really?
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't want one talking to me.
Yeah.
Can we
I'd just
mute
be like,
that? Can I
shut the
get
fuck
a
up
deaf
and-
sex
You
robot?
can do whatever you want to it.
Deaf
Yeah.
robot.
Because it's like if you're talking, then what are we doing here?
Give me
To me,
that.
the
Yeah.
benefit would be
And it's like smarter child.
yeah.
Well, that's why I would.
the
hire
benefit
a
would be
male
that you
sex
don't
worker.
talk.
That would be the glory of hiring a male sex worker. It's like you don't really have to say much.
Well, I was just at a club with strippers. It wasn't a strip club per se. And I was just looking around like, why can't there be male strippers too?
there
totally.
are, it's just,
But not like
They're greasy,
kinda-
like
they're creepy,
yeah.
they're greasy. It's like
Sometimes they're
and it's
just like,
in the
I'm like, you're
movies, it's Magic
gay.
Mike. Why can't they just be as common and attractive?
I would
you
want
know?
like Seattle big beard tattoo dudes.
like what's his name? Alcide on True Blood.
Yeah. Hot. No,
Love
but
everyone in True Blood.
there wasn't as much research and women weren't spending as much money in the sex industry. Like men were spending money, like this. We're just
Right.
talking about this, that like this would even be a thing. Do you know how many girls, friends of mine, after I was like, yeah, I got a tantric massage or whatever, were like, okay, cool. From who? How do I get that?
Yeah.
Like they didn't even know that
that's
could
what I
be
was
a
wondering
thing.
over
I
there
didn't
what
know
you're
that
talking about.
really
Yeah.
existed.
He's great.
Me
And he
too.
honestly, what I liked
but
about
the
him.
guy doesn't fuck you, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Does he have a
Woman.
boner?
No, he didn't have a boner.
Ugh, then I'd be offended.
You know he has like a needle in his dick though to make him not get a
Yeah,
boner.
seriously.
Well, actually, yeah, my friend taught me a trick that in massage therapy school, there's a spot in the base of your big toe that you press on, and then a boner will disappear.
What?
Oh,
Guy's
that's
boner.
so well because I would have been
That's
freaked
smart.
out if he did get a boner, obviously. But
Yeah.
what I enjoyed about the experience was that it was like he was a sex robot, like because he literally he massaged one half of the body, then the other, the same
But
exact
did he
time.
massage your
and-
clit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
So that's sex work.
I mean,
That is
I
sex
didn't
work.
pay him.
Oh.
I
So then it's charity.
You what? Then would you give him?
They're friends.
Oh, but normally
no,
the
no.
service is
Usually the service
But a tantric massage,
is-
I'm expecting
yes,
that,
Yes,
right?
but I didn't want to order a prostitute technically or otherwise, even though I do believe that this is not sex work. Like I think this is
I think it's sex work,
very
but I think
normal,
it's cool.
good. Yeah,
It's good sex
it's
work.
good sex work. It's respectable,
and that's why we have
research. It's for research.
But wait, what's bad sex?
Yeah.
work?
No, I don't know. I don't think there is any bad.
I mean,
sex
I
work.
would say it's kind of hovering between like wellness, like the spa industry, and then
Sex work.
Yeah.
and then sex work.
Yeah.
But like really good sex work. I mean, sex work
Yeah,
is
no,
great.
I didn't want to do anything illegal, obviously, and I was like, listen,
But you smoke pot. I mean,
you're right.
who cares?
You're right. I
We
guess
were
there's
all
That's
just more
illegal.
of
I
a
mean, I'm sure
stigma.
you've jaywalked.
It
There's a
is.
lot of illegal nonsense.
You're right. No, you're 100% right.
Oh,
And
I would
think
hire
just-
a male sex worker in a fucking
It's probably
heartbeat.
more
Yeah.
just like
permission.
not even saying, but it's probably more the stigma of sex work, like
It's
not
a
wanting to
stigma.
hire. Yeah, because there is something about like, wow, I just hired like a prostitute or a
Right.
sex worker, and like you just think of that. Apparently, we're not even using the word prostitute anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where you. I love the word.
What
I
do
think
we
it's
use?
Cool. I give it a thumbs up.
Hooker.
Just sex,
No,
work,
sex
just
worker.
sex worker in general.
I like the word hooker.
But to me, sex
I
worker,
like all those.
Sex
I
worker
like those
is so
words,
much.
but-
It's an umbrella that's so many different occupations.
Yeah.
When I say sex worker, you don't mean. Do I mean cam girl? Do I mean stripper? Do I mean
Right.
prostitute? Like we need more specific words if we can't use
Totally.
prostitute anymore.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah. Sex worker could just tickle your feet.
yeah, it's
technically.
just so much. But yeah, I mean, I think it's
depending
because
on
there
if
is
that's
this
your
thing.
erogenous zone. Like, yeah, you made me come. You're a sex worker.
Yeah, there are just some things I think that most people wouldn't do because there's
That's
a
a good
stigma
pickup line.
attached.
You
We're
just
all
made me
sex
come.
workers.
You're a sex worker at a bar. Like, get the fuck out of my face, Troy.
Troy.
I don't know. This is the first. I do know a person named Troy. That's not who I was referring
That is
to.
a sex worker.
but-
Troy, she just
No,
blew
he's
up
not.
your
He's really not. He's a
spot.
great person, but not a sex worker. But you can be both. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Cool. So I didn't want to, even though I do a lot of legal things, I was like, I'm not going to pay for this. And he was like, no, I wouldn't want that. You gave me press on your podcast. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, just tip me whatever you want. So then I tipped him because I
Yeah.
thought it was a nice thing.
Is that what he does for a living?
Yeah. That's his
Dope.
job.
And he does it on men and women.
Men, women, like he runs this thing called Daddy Retreat where it's just like a place for like older men and ugly men who are gay to feel like
Oh.
included and like, yeah.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, no, he does a lot of great.
That's
They
so
both
being
do.
unattractive
He does
in the gay
charity for
community
ugly
is like
people.
So hard.
Oh God, so
Brutal.
judgmental. Yeah,
You have to be so
Cool.
perfect. It's crazy.
yeah. That's when whenever women complain, I'm like, well, be glad you're not a gay man.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Ugh. My friend. Anyway, I'll show you now. Yeah.
So then go into a story about your ugly ass friend.
Yeah,
no,
man,
no.
my friend's
No,
so
he's
ugly.
not ugly.
Real dumb, ugly whore.
All right. So now I think we should just take maybe one or two questions from people who've been watching the live feed. There are a billion. There's a billion. A good question that was just written in was, I come. It just takes me forever. Am I broken?
No.
No. Simply. I mean,
You know, and maybe just like switch it up, try something new. If whatever, like if you're constantly trying the same things to come and it's taking you forever, try something.
something
new.
else.
switch it up. That's what
Tur-
another
maybe you
thing
don't do it for a
during-
while and then do
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, you know how you gotta you gotta change
Maybe
your
watch
shampoos
porn
to
and
wake
turn
your hair
yourself
up.
on without touching yourself
Same
first.
thing.
Grab your own butt during.
Grab your tits
Yeah.
in non-public. Maybe in public. Whatever.
Yeah, I usually grab my
Not in
tit,
front of
not my
kids.
butt, because it's hard to grab your
Yeah,
own
how do you
butt
grab
while
your
you're
butt?
masturbating.
Really got it. That's a big scoop.
If you do one from behind and one from the front, it's really nice. You kind of feel like you're holding yourself.
This is getting way too emotional.
I get really sweet. I made love to myself. It was wonderful.
Sometimes I'll just like drop my tit because I think it's hilarious. And that's,
Oh my God,
that's
Krystyna.
Well, I wanted to make female teabagging a thing. Instead of like putting your balls in a sleeping person's mouth, you just drop your tit on the face and you just like smack him with your tit. Teabagging.
When I think it was the TED Talk when you were talking about your triple Ds, double Ds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so my phone, I guess, was listening. And then I was on Instagram and it was like, do you need a bra for triple D?
Oh, no,
I don't.
Dude,
Not at all.
that shit's gotta stop.
It's gotta
and someone
stop.
needs to point out a way for us to have our phones not listen to us.
Yeah.
But
I'll never stop it because it's money. That's how.
True.
That's
Yeah,
how
no,
it's
it's
all
kinda
advertising.
nice.
Yeah, it's
And
all
then
it's,
somebody's probably been like, well, if you don't want your phone to listen, then don't get an iPhone. I'm like, that's not gonna happen. So
Yeah, I don't want to
whatever.
be like
Listen in, I
cast
guess.
out of society.
I know. What am I, a loser?
And also, sometimes it's nice when they're like, "I heard you need a new spandex."
yeah. Sometimes they're
Sometimes it is helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
We're
sure.
looking for a restaurant that serves veal in your area.
You're like,
Guess what?
dude, thank you.
Some websites do a
Actually,
really
I
bad job
was.
though. Like Revolve
Yeah.
always shows me
Revolve.
shit I already just bought.
Oh,
like
man.
just
But
bought.
that's from web browser shit. Like that's lazy.
Yeah, Nasty
They're
Gal
so
does that
lazy.
too. Oh my god, I already own this.
Yeah.
Late to the party.
I know everything's like 80% off right now. Also,
That's every.
And
they're-
Revolve?
no, Nasty Gal. We're
Nasty
talking
Gal.
about.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, everything's like on sale, but the quality
Oh,
is
well,
questionable.
bankrupt for years.
I mean, like literally, Sophia Amorosa has on her on the show about her is like saying how terrible she is with money. So it's like I'm not surprised.
Charlotte used to order a lot from Nasty Gal LA, and we have one brother who lived out in LA, and my mom was saying all the bills, and she's like, "What is Spencer buying for this new girlfriend?"
We bought our first TV thing. We purchased really nice dresses, then we returned them because we were like,
I kept the shirt I wore on Carson.
I
Nice.
returned it because I was like, I don't have that
It's a
money.
great shirt.
But Nasty Gal's good stuff.
Yeah, it's good, fun
Beauty of
stuff.
having a credit card. Yeah, I'll pay for it later.
You guys have to go.
Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap this up. Charlotte,
Yes.
I love you. Thank you for being here. You're a wonderful sister, researcher, and friend. Krystyna and
Aw.
Corinne, thank you for being
Sweet.
here. I love you.
Santa, love you, bitch.
This is like such a heartfelt.
Now I'm off, everyone.
Yeah, you gotta jump off the balcony. Are you okay?
I just love her, and I want everyone to know that she co-produces the show because some people always say, "Hey, Charlotte, Remy's show is really great," and you know she
Well-
makes a huge effort too.
It's your thing.
But it's you.
Sometimes I'm here.
We have an excellent research department. You guys, this has been so fun. Thank you for being here. I will just say the thing that we say at the end of every podcast to be polite. Corinne, did you finish?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Krystyna, did you finish?
Fuck yeah.
Okay. Charlotte, how about you?
Always.
All right, great. So, thank you for coming.
It's not you,
Yay. And we'll
it's
see
me.
you next time.
I try so hard to finish, honestly. They say you'll know when you go all the way from A right down to O. Oh no, I think that I've still got a ways to go. Oh, I'm sick of this and I have got to know. How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna just
I don't think you need one. Yeah. Fuck you guys. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, thank you. Thank you for being here. Next time, send in questions. I'm safe. Please. Because it makes things more fun. Bye-bye.